Yes, guys, welcome to Ballast Sports TV. Eddie, Jermaine, what's going on, fellas?
What's up, Amos?
Today we'll be discussing the Brock Purdy situation, being ranked at the number 14 in the NFL top. Is this just a top quarterback or top player? Top quarterback. It's 14. Wow. The AJ Brown and Jaylen Brown trade. This is gonna be deep. Because we gotta talk about the 49ers, the Eagles, and the Celtics that I don't even mess with like that. But thank God for sending the guy to Philly after what Philly just did to another guy they got to send down. And I might have a few questions for you guys, man. But we get straight to it. They're not even going to waste your time on this one, man. Purdy was ranked at number 14, as I said. And we were just discussing this earlier about the quarterback that's ahead of him. And I know Eddie, you're a 49er fan. Can this be true? Can this be true that he's 14 based on Cal Shanahan's mastermind? Or they're just looking at a whole body of work? And how do you think I feel about him ranking number 14 when there's other quarterback that's in there like the Jordan Love or the Kellen Williams that just got into the scene? While Brock Purdy has been to what, 2 Super Bowls or 1 Super Bowl, if I'm not
One Super
mistaken?
Bowl, one Super Bowl, two NFC championships.
2 NFC championship and leading the
Yes.
team as a starting quarterback that missed the right rank. He didn't win number 1 overall pick or none of that, but he has found a way to always stay consistent when it mattered the most. How is he ranked number 14? Talk to me, Eddie. What's your thoughts on that?
Honestly, my thoughts on that is the fact that he's never going to get that good grace based upon people that's played for Kyle. So you figure that Kyle took Matt Ryan to a Super Bowl. He had success with RG3, Rookie of the Year, and he had Jimmy Garoppolo. So when you look at those 4 quarterbacks, we can easily say Jimmy Garoppolo is probably the least talented of all those 4, right? But he went to the Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo. He held the lead in the 4th quarter with Jimmy Garoppolo. So the fact that he accomplished that with a mediocre quarterback, Brock is never going to get that recognition because he was the last pick in the draft and because of Kyle's greatness. But in context, everybody isn't successful under Kyle. Kyle's had I'm just looking at the list, easily close to 20 quarterbacks. Out of all those quarterbacks, Brock, Jimmy, Sam's just recently been successful. Matt Ryan, he had the number 1 pick was Johnny Manziel number 1 pick? I don't think he was, but he was a high draft pick. He had Kirk Cousins, Robert Griffin. He had an old Donovan McNabb. I wouldn't consider that success because of Kyle. And he had Matt Schaub. But he has close to 20 quarterbacks. Half of these guys you don't even know. Half of these guys didn't even have success or are in the league for a long time. So I think Brock gets a raw deal. I think he's more accomplished than half of the guys on the list. Just take the top 10. He's more accomplished than Dak. He's more accomplished than Justin Herbert. People are always going to put him down because he's not as talented as those guys. He's not as athletic. He doesn't have the arm strength of those guys. But really, when you play quarterback, you play quarterback with your mind. That's something that you can't measure. His intangibles you can't measure. So since he's been in the league in a full-time starter, he's in the top 5 of every major quarterback statistical category. So how you don't say that he's an elite, he's a top 10 quarterback? I don't know.
Well, you mentioned Cal Shanahan affecting a lot of quarterback, all the quarterback. Yes, we all know he's a mastermind. He's a great play caller. And I agree that he got to have a quarterback that could go out and execute it because damn sure can put him anywhere and think that he's just gonna work, right? You can't just, no matter how great a coach is, you still gotta need a player to go execute. And I was one of the guys a few years back when I watched Brock Purdy. I was like, man, he's just a system quarterback. He got a great system around him because the love and respect I got for Cal Shanahan as a head coach and seeing what he has done. So I was one of the guys that's like, yo, he got the right guy that fit his system and he's working well. But then last year I watched him play. I'm like, holy shit, right? That's like, But then that you're talking about overall body of work of Brock Purdy. I mean, like I said, I can't break this down better than you can. But is there any point to what they're trying to say about why he's 14?
Is there a point?
Yeah.
He's never gotten the credit since he's been a full-time starter. It's always been something different. It's always that he has Kittle. Back then it was called the Avengers, which he had Debo, he had Ayuk, he had Kittle, he had CMC. Those were called the Avengers. So what did he do when he didn't have all those guys at his disposal? He still played well. He had, if you really look at it, they ran the offense through CMC, which is they couldn't run the ball. They were in the bottom percentile of running the ball, and they still won a playoff game. Now, where they going? I mean, as a Niners fan, I knew that they weren't going to beat Seattle. I just knew that because they didn't have the receivers for it. They can't run the ball. So basically, you're one-dimensional against a great defense. You were not going to beat Seattle. But the fact that you still accomplished that with the injuries and the team that you had last year. Doesn't that say something about your quarterback pulling the trigger? That he made good decisions, that you were able to win with all the adversity? That's not all Kyle, but Kyle gets that credit. Like, oh, this was Kyle's best coaching job. You still need your quarterback to make decisions. How many times have we seen your quarterback win and lose games? It's not always the quarterback, but your quarterback has the ball more than anybody. So what they do down the stretch means a lot.
Yeah, Jermaine. Everybody's saying it's a system, But how come Trent Lance? What was the quarterback you got drafted? Which Trent? What's his name? The one that you got traded. I think you got traded to the Dallas Cowboys. Was it the Cowboys?
Trey Lance. Trey Lance.
Trey Lance. Then why Trent Lance is not a successful quarterback in the NFL? For Kyle was the reason why Brock Purdy. I'm not saying Kyle doesn't have nothing to do with it, but what is your take on that first? And then you tell me about the Trent Lance situation. What is your take on him ranking number 14 when they got this all this other quarterback? Eddie has mentioned.
I'm gonna start off with the wide receivers he had last year: Juwan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall, Jordan Watkins, Sky Moore, Jacob Cowing, and of course, George Kittle and C-Mac. Like, those guys you probably don't even know, really. You know Ricky Pearsall, you know Juwan Jennings. Sky Moore, the Chiefs got rid of him, so that pretty much lets you know where he's at. You can't expect them to do much with that, you know what I'm saying? It's like, pretty much he was hurt last year. His ranking gonna be number 14, and like Eddie said, he's not gonna get the benefit of the doubt, being that Kyle Shanahan is his coach, so they expect him to have, better stats. Let's just say this: you got Justin Herbert above him. Have he even won one playoff game? You got Caleb Williams ahead of him. I think won that one miracle game last year. Even Josh Allen. Nobody has ever went to the Super Bowl on this list pretty much that's above him, besides, of course, Patrick Mahomes, Matt Stafford, and Drake May, Jalen Hurts.
And Drake May.
It's only about 4 or 5
I didn't know
of them.
Jalen Hurts was above him. I thought Jalen Hurts was a number 17.
He number 17?
Jalen Hurts is below him. Yeah, he's below him.
Okay.
Yeah, he's number 17, yeah.
Okay. Well, do they got Trevor Lawrence above him?
Correct.
I forgot that list. Yeah.
Come on, man. Trevor
Lawrence. They had a
Lawrence,
whole bunch of quarterbacks.
But like I said, I don't know what they're going off, if they're going about body of work or last year. 2023, he passed for 4,280 yards. 24,864 yards. 2025, only 2,167 yards, mostly because he was injured. And besides that, the wide receivers he got. Dak Prescott got 2 number ones pretty much. It all depends on who you got. Your best wide receiver last year was C-Mac, and he had 924 receiving yards with 7 receiving touchdowns. When your running back is your best wide receiver and he's got 1/3 of your receiving yards, you're going to be ranked pretty low. It's just the bottom line. I mean, in my eyes, I know Brock Purdy, of course, is a better quarterback because, like I said, in 2023, for 4,280 yards with 31 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. So I know what he's capable of when he has wide receivers, and that's the year he had, what's his name, Deebo Samuel. He had a Brandon Ayuk for the most part. So if you give him some capable wide receivers, the guy could put up the numbers. It's just who you could have on your team, man. So you're going to be ranked 14 when your running back is your best wide receiver. That's just the bottom line.
It made no sense to me personally because I talk a lot of junk up to my 49er fans because but if the Eagles are not playing, I am not missing watching the 49ers play. And yes, a lot got to do with the mastermind of Kyle Shanahan and the great players, of course. And like you guys mentioned, the running back CMC, I think is one of the best. I just love a guy that like to work hard. But you can't take nothing away from what Brock Purdy is doing. He still got to go out there and perform. He still got to go out there and execute. Some of these guys are above him. Drake May just went to the Super Bowl this year. I am not picking Drake May over Brock Purdy. Jordan Love, I'm not doing that. Yes, you can look at it with talents around him. You can do all of that, but at the same time, this man still got to throw the ball, and he's not turning the balls over in the critical matters. When he mattered the most, I don't see this man just turn the ball. Sometimes I wish he did, so I can make fun of my boy, which is a 49er fan, but he keeps telling me,
all the wide receivers I just named, I don't know if even Sky Moore's coming back, but the only one that's coming back is Ricky Pearsall. Brandon Ayuk is done. Juwan Jennings went to Minnesota.
And the crazy
these
thing
wide
is,
receivers not even on this team this year.
The crazy thing is Watkins and I forgot his name, starts with a C. Well, Watkins and another wide receiver, they didn't play a snap last year. They were both injured.
And Brandon Ayuk, he didn't play a snap. Who's supposed to be your best wide receiver?
Yeah, so you had basically a bunch of receivers that were put together a hodgepodge of receivers basically that played well. Kittle played well, but it's not based. Trust me, it's not based upon last year. They're basing that based on his body of work. But if you going by his body of work to NFC championships and the Super Bowl, then he should be further than a lot of those guys on that list.
Right.
That's just my opinion. Sure, guys got more talent than him, but you can't blame him for the team that he has around him. Are you going to say Peyton Manning wasn't great because he had Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harrison, and Edgerrin James? Are you going to say Peyton Manning's not great? Every quarterback needs weapons.
He had Dallas Clark. He has some.
Yeah.
Weapons.
Like, let me ask you guys this question, right? Why would they even why make you think a lot of players or anybody that made this list could put Drake May over Brock Purdy? What would be the reasons? Like, what is Drake May?
I think it's because of draft status, right? A lot of people are wrong about Brock. So you got to look at a guy that was a 4-year starter in college in the Big Ten. Not Big Ten. He was in, I forgot what division they were in. Iowa State. I can't think off the top of my head. But he was a 4-year starter. He played well. He played well against big talent. He played well against Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts was at Oklahoma. So it's not like he hasn't been a bona fide quarterback. It's not like they just plucked him out of somewhere. Sure, he was the last pick of the draft. But like I said, when you draft a quarterback, people just look at the physical talent. What about how their mind works? You want a guy that can process, go through all his reads, go to make the right decision almost every time so your offense can run efficiently. Well, you got to have that right quarterback to run efficiently in Kyle Shanahan's offense, or it's going to stall. It's going to look really, really bad, like it did under Jimmy. Jimmy, as good as people think Jimmy was that great, he wasn't. If you really look at the 2 playoff games they won to the Super Bowl, they took the ball out of Jimmy's hands. Against the Packers, they passed the ball, I believe, 8 times in the NFC Championship game. Against the Vikings, after Jimmy almost threw a pick, they literally ran the ball almost every down against the Vikings to advance to the NFC Championship. So they took the ball out of Jimmy's hands. Did he play good in the Super Bowl? He did. But for the most part, Jimmy was more of a fire starter than he was ever the solution for the Niners. That's why they were looking to get rid of him. That's why they drafted Trey Lance. It wasn't because Jimmy was as great. They were trying to get rid of Jimmy.
Speaking of that, right? I know I say this sometimes. So if you would have put Trey Lance or Justin Herbert into the 49ers with the same roster that Brock Purdy have, do you think it's a Super Bowl?
No, not a chance, because they have better wide receivers in my eyes right now, and they ain't go nowhere. So with the less wide receivers, what more can they do when they have better wide receivers than the 49ers do currently right now on the roster? They haven't proven nothing with great wide receivers. Well, last year, yes.
Yeah, last year.
I'm talking about last year. The last year wide receivers that they had was better than what the 49ers put out there.
Eddie.
It's just like Drake May. I'm sorry, I hate to say this, but you want that feel-good story. A guy who coming after Tom Brady, he goes to the Super Bowl. They're going to put him over Mr. Irrelevant Brock Purdy, who was drafted last. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're going to say the pressure of playing behind Brady, even though Cam Newton and the other guy, I forget his name right now, who was the quarterback before he got there, you know what I'm saying? But really, Tom Brady, the pressure to go to the Super Bowl, they're going to pretty much rank you high just off that alone. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like the Brady effect.
It was Mac Jones, actually. It was
Mac Jones, yes, and he didn't do nothing. Jones. So for him to take them to the Super Bowl, basically after Brady, with Mac Jones pretty much having that same crew besides Stephon Diggs, it's like a huge step up from what they seen. So it's that feel-good story. So I see why they gonna rank him, above. Like I said, he had a down year last year. He was hurt for the most part. Even the games he played, he wasn't fully healthy. And then when he was, a little bit of healthy, he didn't have nobody he could even pass it to. It was just dumped down to C-Mac and let him go.
Yeah.
Even the defense. I think the 49ers had the most injured players last year. And they still went to the playoffs and won a game or no? Did they win a game or no?
Yeah.
All right. First of all, before I go and say this,
pretty impressive.
Eddie, man, I don't want
to have all the injuries they had.
Now, before I go ahead and say this, Eddie, I don't want you to get this over your head thinking that we all going to be sitting here every time talking positive about your quarterback and none of that. You already know how I am. So today just some bull crap list. That's all we on this. But honestly, for me, I think Brock Purdy's talent, like you mentioned earlier, Matt, is his brain, how he processes things and how he moves. He doesn't channel all that. He knows he's not a physical quarterback. But when he do wants to make that run, I seen him did against the Philadelphia Eagles. When he sit what we call green grass in soccer, he's gonna take off. He's gonna run the ball, but he mentally smart. That's what quarterback is supposed to be. But today, of course, we want to see the Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes or the Josh Allens. So I totally understand that when you look at the body of work that this other quarterback, based on the talent of the draft pick, as you mentioned, Brock Purdy shouldn't be disrespected like that. Dropped all down to 14, while you got Drake May or Jordan Love or all these quarterback. If you're going by body of work, his body of work speaks for himself. If this was any kind of qualification, he's already been approved that he's capable
I'll
of
put
doing
it
so
to you
based on his
this way:
body's work.
how many last picks have you seen be the starter like right away? And never, it's never happened. Get paid like a number one starter and whatnot. This is the person who was drafted last in this draft. For him to be even number 14, if I was him, I wouldn't even be mad at that. I would just go out there and do what I have to do for my team and ball out. At the end of the day, what he did for being the last pick in the draft, Mr. Relevant, whatever you want to call it, I give him props. He went to the Super Bowl, 2 NFC championship games. What more can you ask?
Yeah.
I'll take him any day
Any
if
last
it was me. So I don't care if you got him ranked 25th. I don't care if you got him ranked 31st. Give him to my
Man,
team.
stop that, man. You ain't taking Buffalo right now when you got Josh Allen over
I don't
there,
care
man.
where
Stop
they
that.
can rank Josh Allen right now at number 40. Give him to me. I don't care where they rank him at. That's opinion based. I don't care about that.
Any last take on this before we move on?
Nah, it is what it is. The only way that he has to win a championship. And even then, even if he won a championship, I really don't think he even give him the credit for that. They're gonna say, "Oh, the defense." If everybody stays healthy and they ball out, they're gonna say, "Oh, he had a defense." Or he got Mike Evans and C Mac. He's got Kyle. But I mean, truth be told, Patrick
Got
Mahomes
Christian
had
Kirk.
Andy Reid his whole career. Like, you gotta have somebody to take advantage of your talent. I mean, sure, did Patrick make some crucial plays? Absolutely. He did that off script. He's one of the best off script clutch time. But at the end of the day, you still need somebody to harness your talents. I don't care what sport you're playing. Coaching matters. And if you don't have a good coach to maximize what they're getting out of their players, then what are we really talking about here?
Same way I think when people talk about Jalen Hurts, man, I don't care if Jalen Hurts is the best quarterback or not, bro. Just please just win me a Super Bowl.
Hey man,
All that
yeah,
matters.
he got you, man. Listen, I'll trade
He got
the
you one.
MVP
Got you one.
award, all that for a championship, man. I don't care about no MVP award. Get the championship, damn it.
And most players would too.
I
All right,
know they
bro, man.
would.
This next topic we gotta discuss is it's a mix, it's a cross league, I call it, because it's the NFL and the NBA, and it's all
Okay.
happening Philadelphia and Boston. And versus the NFL, Howard Roseman actually pulled it off and pulled the trigger and trade AJ Brown to the New England Patriots. I know Buffalo Bill fans probably don't want to hear that. Mike Verber and Drake May have a receiver number one, and then before you know it, Boston's like, we got a plan. Let's trade Jaylen Brown to 76ers, arch rivalry, for a bunch of draft picks and Paul George. Dude, I'm going to run down this question. For me, this is kind of weird, right? Because as an Eagle fan, I'm not a 76er fan. I've been living in Philly, go a lot of 76ers games because I like going to sport games, but not a huge 76er fan. I like them, but not a fan. I'm a Laker fan, just in case. So for me, for the Philadelphia Eagles, this is a good thing, of course, getting rid of AJ Brown, not because he's not a great quarterback. I mean, great wide receiver, a great talent. He's one of the best in the league, big body. He knows what he's doing. He's not top three because we do got a better wide receivers out there, Chase and Jefferson and so on. But getting rid of AJ Brown, I like teamwork. I like teams that keep things in the locker room. I like teams that togetherness. I like teams that seeing what we see the 49ers doing, or what we see the Kansas City Chiefs has done or what we see Tom Brady and the New England Patriots have done. Keep that camaraderie going to start for greatness. No personal beef, no personal issues. In that regard,
Culture.
I'm happy that AJ Brown is gone. But in the football aspect of it, I think they got rid of the wrong guy. I'm always thinking that they should get rid of the head coach, but he's still there. That's all I'm going to get you guys' take on this. First with the AJ Brown situation. What do you guys think? And I'm going to start with you, big bro. The really issue is between the AJ Brown saga and the whole Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles front line office, Is this the right move for the Eagles on a football aspect?
Well, first off, I'm going to say both trades were personal. Those were personal trades, right? One was personal because it was killing the culture of a team, and the other one was personal because the front office didn't want an intelligent player. But whoever knows if a trade is going to work out? We never know that question, if it's a good or a bad thing. If you win without him, people gonna say it's a great trade. But if you lose without him, then people gonna say it's a terrible trade. So it's not a can you win-win? Absolutely. You have to win without him to justify the trade. I hate to say that, but it was more about the culture of the Philadelphia Eagles. You had a disgruntled player taking shots at his quarterback. Well, your quarterback is your franchise quarterback. You paid him as such. He was your Super Bowl MVP that could have been a Super Bowl MVP twice. So it's much easier to part with a disgruntled wide receiver than your franchise quarterback. So that, to me, that's a no-brainer. And he wasn't happy there. So what do? You move the player that wasn't happy. But it was a personal trade because two players didn't get along. Two superstar players. It wasn't just like either one of them were mediocre. They're superstars. But I think for the long-term effect of the culture of the Philadelphia Eagles going forward, they had to move A.J. Brown.
Yeah. Jermaine, A.J. Brown in your division with Drake May and the New England Patriot.
Well, this is a perfect question to ask me. I once had a guy named Stephon Diggs that they said was a cancer in the locker room, right? So when you have a cancer in the locker room, unfortunately, you have to let that cancer go. The guy was sitting on the bench reading books, man, while the game is going on. Like, I mean, if that ain't cancerous to a team, I mean, I don't know. I know he tried to play it off and I was reading, a good book just to keep me going and whatnot. And, but I mean, he was over there arguing with the head coach. You see him physically, like, where they had to, like, literally break them apart. Like, once you have that going on, you got to get rid of that. And I mean, even though they won the Super Bowl, he basically wanted out. When a player wants out, no matter how good the talent is, you just have to let that go because they're gonna do everything to, pretty much get themselves out of there. They're gonna, during the game, they're gonna act like they're not, into the game. They're gonna read books, something crazy to just be like, okay, we gotta let this guy go. And it's been going on it's been like 2 or 3 years of this. Like, at the end of the day, they had to trade him. And I guess he wanted to go to the Pacers because he wants to be the number one guy. So Patriots ain't really have a number one guy. He wanted to go there pretty much, so they sent him there. Pretty much gave him his wish. Once we got rid of Stephon Diggs, we kept our coach. And as you can see this year, keeping the coach, no Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs, no Lamar Jackson in the playoffs, and Josh Allen lost to, what's the guy named from Denver?
Awesome.
Yeah, lost to the Broncos, and now you see our coach gone. So I can tell you now, if Philadelphia Eagles don't go far next year, that coach is going to be gone after next year. That's what's going to happen. Like, he has to have that team go either deep in the playoffs or win a championship for him to keep that job, or pretty much he's going to be gone, because that's pretty much the same thing that happened in Buffalo. Meanwhile, A.J. Brown going to the Patriots, I'm not worried about it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, I like him as a wide receiver, but I don't think he's as good as he used to be. Maybe because he probably didn't want to play in Philly. Maybe he's going to try to come out and show that he's a great wide receiver, but time will tell. We'll have to wait and see on that.
This man got 1,000 yards.
All I do know, though, is if he don't get the ball, he's going to cause the same trouble he caused when he was with Philly. I mean, I tell you now, they got some wide receivers on that team that he's not going to be getting that ball like he think he is.
It's kind of hard for him not to get the ball, though, because that's part of because the New York Patriots are passing offense. Not like the Eagles with a running. They want a running offense first, because I think he will get the ball. He's still not going to be happy. Unless now you might be happy.
We're going to see. Like I said, only time will tell. I can't wait. And I hope he blows that up. Being a Bills fan anyway.
Hey, Eddie, you mentioned earlier about both teams, and then you mentioned what Jaylen Brown trade also is from Boston to the 76ers. You say it's personal. Not even what level. It's personal coming from the player itself, or you mentioned the front office, if I'm not mistaken. For 29 or what? How old is Paul George? Like 29 years old?
No, he's older than that. He's almost 40.
Jaylen Brown is Jaylen Brown is 29 then, right?
Jaylen Brown, you mean? Yeah, Jaylen Brown is younger than Paul George. I don't know the ages, but
lots.
I can.
So how did Boston? How does he got this personal for Boston to Sunday one of the best two-way guards in the game to an act rivalry instead of anywhere else. Like, why at the 76ers? Why you think they got that personal? How do the front office make this type of mistake to go against a guy if they actually think that he's an elite as we think? I think he's an elite player. I think he's one of the best, if he's not the best two-way player in the league.
I think that's an excellent question. I think that's a question not only are fans asking, people that enjoy the sport of basketball, but also actual NBA players are asking, how do you trade Jaylen Brown, right? So before Tatum came back, Boston doesn't go to the playoffs without Jaylen Brown. He balled out. He gave you everything you could ask for in your superstar, right? He carried your team, and you almost had another trip to the dance. If they didn't melt down in Philly, they could have easily ended up back in the NBA finals. But it's personal because when your front office, who's running your front office, has an ego and they feel like that player is not doing what they want them to do, that's a problem. That's a problem because a talent like that, you trade that talent away for a guy that can't stay healthy. He's almost 10 years older than that man. And that other player is a shell of himself. He is nowhere near what he used to be. So you didn't get your return back for a trade. If you go and trade your superstar, you need to get something back for that, like real monetary value for that. And they didn't get anything back for that. So that's how you know it's personal. So if Boston, and it's going to be interesting, if Boston does not do as well as they did last year with just Jason Tatum, do you fire that general manager? And that's a real question because your owner is going to be sit back looking like, what did we just do? And I kind of look at it like Luka Doncic. You can't. It was this ripple effect by trading Luka Doncic to the Lakers for unhealthy Anthony Davis. Why? Why would you not get your value back? And the Mavs haven't been the same since. So it's going to be very interesting in this NBA season to see if the Celtics are as good as they were last year. If not, somebody could be looking for a job next year.
Man, what's your thoughts on the AJ Brown offside going on?
Listen, it's funny that Jaylen Brown and AJ Brown is cousins. But we got here, Jaylen Brown, he's not a cancer to the team, but he one of the most outspoken persons on a team. They didn't let that man be on a USA team because of the stuff he said. And honestly, I really feel like they asked him, what team he wanted to go to. And I think they gave him his wish of probably some of the teams that he wanted to, because it doesn't make any sense how y'all haven't traded that man to get Giannis. It's no way you let Giannis go to Miami without trading him and getting Giannis. That's the only trade that I could see that I would have been like, you got Jaylen Brown, got rid of him, and you got Giannis. I would have been like, all right, I can't argue that. But this man averaged 29 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists last year. Let me say that again. 29 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. No Tatum. Had Philly on the ropes. And guess who missed game 7, by the way? Jason Tatum. This guy is one of the best two-way players in the game. Defense, offense, like, only thing I can see is they asking him because they basically had him on a trade block the last 2 or 3 years. So being that they probably felt like how much they disrespected him, they probably like, okay, give us a list of teams you might like to go to. He probably gave him Philly, and they probably granted his. I would hope they at least gave him that respect and granted his wish to go to Philly, and to get Paul George, I'm sorry. I love Paul George, but Paul George's time has came and gone.
Piggyback off you, Jay? So they traded him for Paul George.
Yeah.
Paul George played 37 games last year.
Yeah.
30 minutes, 17 points a game.
Yeah.
5 rebounds, 3 assists. You're not getting your value back.
Right.
Let me look at it from the 76ers standpoint, right? About time to do something right. Because, man, the Sixers...
and trust the process. That process is looking a lot better right now.
Wow, man.
Because you ain't get rid of Edgecombe or Maxey or Embiid.
Right.
If you would have told me Philly would have got Jaylen Brown, I would have assumed at least one of them was coming.
But you got to keep Embiid healthy, and that's going to be the key to your season. If you can get a healthy Embiid for about 65 games, 65 games, and they play everybody together, they could potentially come out the East.
Yeah, easily.
Let's just say hypothetically, right? Embiid's not healthy. You got a decent center that just know how to do his job. And then you got Jaylen Brown,
and
Maxey,
Maxey.
Hitchcock. Come on now. This
You can
still
win
got
with that.
squad.
You can win with that.
Listen, Jaylen Brown took that team to the playoffs last year. You know who he's starting with? Derek White. You know, he had Pritchard, center name. What's his name? I can't even pronounce it. It start with a Q. Queemies. He a good player. He did a couple things. He ain't no Embiid. So, like he said, if Embiid can stay healthy, I give it 60 games. He don't even need to. Give me 60 healthy games.
Yeah.
Big bruh, give me 60 good games, and they good to go.
But that's what I'm saying.
Give me 60.
Because it's 60
out of the 82.
it's 60 good games. 60 good games.
Yeah.
You solidify your playoff position, right? If you could build yourself some cushion, so to speak, and you get say 10 games up, well, you can rest Embiid down the stretch. You don't have to play your center as much, but his health is just as important as everything else. You could win with the guards, but you need your big man to be healthy.
So, quick question now. Like, which Brown trade complete or change the championship landscape for both teams?
That's a tough one.
Jaylen Brown, they both gonna be good, I think, for both teams in a different way. I feel like AJ Brown's gonna help the Patriots out, and I feel like Jaylen Brown gonna help Philly out. I mean, how could they not? You know what I'm saying? Like they basically going to the teams where they're gonna keep doing what they're doing. Jaylen Brown points might go down, but he's still gonna be one of the best defensive players in the league. You know, he's still gonna average probably 20 points, probably 5 rebounds, and probably 5 assists, which is still great on that team. He don't need to score 29 when you got Maxey, you got Edgecombe, who's coming in his own. And if Embiid can stay healthy, he ain't gonna need to score 29 like he did last year. He only had to score 29 because there was no Jason Tatum. You know, AJ Brown, every year he puts up stats, and with the quarterback he got, they're gonna feed him the ball. Because now basically he's their number one wide receiver. So he's gonna pass it to him. So to me, I feel like both trades was good for both teams in a different way, and it's gonna help them both out. That's how I feel.
I think definitively, I think Jaylen Brown trade. The reason why I say that is because I think Diggs was a better receiver than AJ Brown, and the reason why I say that is because he's more route savvy.
Later.
He was able to make it comfortable for a young wide receiver to the point where he knew how to run his routes in a way that he didn't have to put the ball in harm's way for Drake May. He made throwing to him really, really easy. Was he problematic? Yes, he was. But he knew how to get open. Plus, he had something to prove. I just don't think AJ Brown is a better route runner than Diggs. He's just not. He's just a big body receiver who has tons of talent, but I don't think he's a better route runner. But to me, Jaylen Brown trade, if everybody can stay healthy in Philadelphia, is going to be the most beneficial of the two trades.
All right. There's a rumors between both
I
players.
can't wait. I can't wait till Boston play Philly. That's gonna be exciting to watch. Ooh,
Thanks for
Tatum
bringing that
versus
up.
Brown.
Hell yeah.
Man. Hey yo,
And then
So
you
do
get
you
to
I'm
think-
gonna be
guard him.
watching that game like it's the finals, because I can't wait to that first game.
So
We need to see when that first game is.
So do you think Tatum has something to do with Brown's departure?
Could be. I'm not sure. I don't want to, say he did or not, but pretty much they got rid of him because they thought Tatum was better. So even if he did or didn't, end of the day, I feel like it was the wrong move.
But how can you say that if you both gave them max contracts? So you didn't think one was better than the other. You both gave them the max contract.
Well, guess what? They got rid of one too, though. Yeah, they gave him max contract, but they got rid of one, Eddie.
Yeah,
Why
I
would
know.
you get rid of that
I'm
one?
just
The guy that was the MVP behind you in the finals when y'all won it.
And the Eastern Conference
The guy that
MVP.
took y'all to the playoffs last year when Jason Tatum was hurt. Now, I'm not gonna. Jason Tatum is a great player. I'm not gonna sit up here and act like but he's don't have the same defense as Jaylen Brown. I'm sorry.
No.
Okay, his offense, they can
This is where-
match up the same if you want to do that. When it comes to defense, Jaylen Brown is just different.
This is
Yeah,
where we
I
go back
agree.
to what Eddie said earlier. This is personal. I don't think it has anything to do with basketball reason. And you mentioned the same thing, Jermaine, because Jaylen Brown is not he's an outspoken guy. He's the guy with the twitch. He's the guy that's going to be out there.
He's a very intelligent young man. He can teach classes. He's got a partnership with NASA. This young man is leaps and bounds. And that's why they said what they said about him. He thinks he's the smartest man in the room. But once you want that out of your player, once you want a player that's smart, like intelligent, well-spoken, You know that he's not going to go out there outside of basketball and get into trouble. He's going to do everything that you want your franchise player to do. So that's how you know it's personal. It's nothing but personal.
This man went out there and gave his sweat, blood, and tears for that team. And for y'all to do what y'all did for Paul George is like if Jaylen Brown don't come out next year with like some type of like fire under his ass. Because you trade me for Paul George. I'm sorry. At this point in time, now if it was the Paul George with the Indiana Pacers, we could have a different goddamn story. But this is the Paul George from the Philadelphia 76ers. Mind you, 25-game suspension last year from PED. This is the Paul George we talking about. The Paul George who averaged like 13 points in the playoff game that they won last year. Not because of him, because Maxey was going to freak off.
Not playoff P.
Yeah, well, he ain't playoff P no more. He playoff OD because he old as shit. Like, come on, man. I get it. Okay, they got some draft picks, but you don't know what them draft picks ever gonna be. I'm sorry, you just don't. And if you don't get no great draft picks that's better than Jaylen Brown, that trade is gonna automatically be a loss.
That young man was a generational talent. You're not going to get
Seriously.
anything back.
So with that being said,
Hey, I ain't gonna say that, but all I know is you hoping for something when you had something. Don't do that. When you got something, you keep it. You don't hope for nothing. But I get it. When it comes to them paying both of those guys max contracts, it can be a lot. So sometimes you have to part ways with one. Unfortunately, they thought Tatum was better, or they just got more hope with Tatum. I don't know, but they felt like getting one of them off the books and saving some type of money was the best thing for them to go for.
I just hope that 76ers got the right system for all these players. I know Jaylen Brown is going to have to take a little step back because you got Maxey, you got Joel Embiid, and the AJ Brown is going to a team where he's going to be an alpha dog. You got other wide receivers, like you say. Drake May is no longer a rookie. He's been to the Super Bowl. AJ Brown found himself in a better situation where he could get his mind clear. You don't have to read a book on the sideline. We know you do. We know you can read a book. No, but all of that comes into it. It's so funny that how you
listen. When you read a book on the sideline, they should have got rid of him after last year, man. That was crazy, man. I'm sorry.
It's just like I can understand like if this is something like when things are going right. Of course, they're not gonna show the part that he's written a book until when things are going wrong, and but it's the same guy over and over with, it's always antics with these wide receivers, most of his wide receivers, but I'm happy for Jaylen Brown. He don't want to be, there's a place that they don't want him in Boston. Now he's out of there. AJ Brown don't want to be in Philly. Philly got tired of AJ Brown. It's time for you to go. So which one of you the guys think that is in a better position to clear their mind and just focus on straight up being a baller?
Jaylen.
Yeah, I have to agree. Jaylen Brown, it's just always gonna be Jaylen Brown just because how he got let go from a team that they both won championships with the team they were on. So, but one wanted out and one didn't want out. As we can talk about this all day, and you let a guy basically go who didn't really want to leave his team. He never once have you heard him publicly say, "Hey, I want to leave Boston."
I just put like this: Jaylen Brown was never the problem.
No,
somebody else had a problem with him. This kind of reminds me of Houston Texans. I forgot who their coach was. Bill something. But when he traded the wide receiver, but he traded him basically because he felt like he had too many baby mamas. It wasn't his talent on the field. It wasn't that he was a disruption to the locker room.
Come on, you don't just pass by that. So you got.
I swear. Yeah, I can't think of his name. He used to be on. He used to be on Bill Belichick's staff, and he got the job. And it was basically because he felt like because his baby mom would always come to the practice and bring the kids and stuff like that. And he sincerely had a problem with that, and that's why he traded him. But it wasn't because of the player was just being rude or a detrimental to the organization. It was because the coach, who was the acting GM, had a problem with the player.
Imagine that. Nope, you got too much baby mama. We gotta let you go.
Yeah,
You
you
gotta
gotta
let
go. You gotta
It's
go.
just like, imagine Jalen Hurts though. The last 2 years, every press conference they ask him about AJ Brown. That gets annoying after a while. The same thing that happened with Josh Allen. Every press conference, Stephon Diggs, you think he's gonna be
Stephon
on the team
Diggs.
next year? You think he's gonna be on the team after this game? And
Not gonna get him
every
the
game
ball.
that he's not getting the ball, his hands is up, he's flailing and all this wild, crazy stuff. At a point in time, even the defense at a point in time, they just like, I'm just tired of it. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you can't play like you want because now Jalen Hurts feel like he has to go and try to pass the ball to AJ Brown because he's out there complaining every damn game, or he's reading a book on the sideline. So to try to make him happy, you're
That's
trying
the
to give
thing
him
though.
some
Like
targets.
this man got over 1,000 yards
Yeah,
off 4 seasons he played with Jalen Hurts
I don't get it.
in
I
in
don't
the
get it.
Philadelphia uniform.
That's how
So
you know that was personal.
yeah, it's
Moves
personal.
that
Though. I mean, there's a lot of rumors about women or a lot of Jalen Hurts didn't tell AJ Brown about what's going on, how they used to be. AJ Brown, I should have named Jalen Hurts as godfather to his daughter. So they were close friends. But when things get in between, the personal things happen, and this is what's going on. It's nothing got to do with football. I say this to a lot of folks, like because Jalen Hurts can't pass. No, this is deeper than that. I'm always gonna side with Jalen Hurts in the fact that I like what he practiced. He might be more like the stoic kind of guy. Nothing fade him, nothing bother him. And for me, that's the kind of like, as a Kobe Bryant kind of mentality. It is what it is, man. I don't have to tell you how to conduct yourself. But I'm just gonna focus on how I should conduct myself. That's the way I see Jalen Hurts as. And I'm not saying Jalen Hurts is a perfect quarterback. Hell nah, because this season coming up, you got a lot of chip on your shoulder. What happened last year, we ain't got time for that crap in Philly. They got start throwing eggs at you instead of snowball. Better get your shit together.
Listen,
Let's come out here and ball.
what they call that quarterback sneak he do? The
Push,
Philly,
push.
the tush push. He
the
gonna need
brotherly
more than the
shove.
goddamn tush push next year. He better throw that motherfucking thing, man. That shit ain't working no more.
That's all depends. That's all depends on the head coach, man. The kind of system. I think Jalen Hurts is the kind of guy you tell him go do this, that's what he's gonna go do. And sometimes like it's a default. He's good and bad. He's really not that kind of quarterback that's just gonna go off the script. And we've seen it. Like, dude, you can use your legs. Why you stop using it? Why do you want to focus so much about staying in the pocket when you see every other quarterback? We see Josh Allen crumble around and then he complete a pass. Patrick Mahomes do it his whole career. But this
The
guy, at
same
some
way
point,
Lamar
he
tried
just
to
want
do
to
it
stay
though.
there and just be like, man, I got to look for the pass. Use your goddamn leg. That's what you're here for. That's I got you where you at. Why stop now?
But Lamar did the same thing though.
Right.
It's basically those guys are professionals. When they take criticism, what's the thing you're gonna do? I can do this. I can stand in the pocket. I can throw the rock. You know what I'm saying? And you take a part of you that what made you great, and you basically dumb it down to prove other people wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because players take that personal. They may tell you they don't look at the newspaper or they read magazine articles or they're
Don't
not on
listen to
social
Stephen A.
media.
Smith.
Right. But you know what? They're competitors and they have egos and they take it personal. So I know I'm getting off topic, but Robert Ory was talking about Kobe Bryant. They used to all beat him in shooting, and Kobe Bryant would take it personal. So every day after practice, he will work on shooting the three, shooting the three, shooting the three. Challenge him again, lose again, go back, shooting the three, shooting the three, shooting the three. Because he was a competitor. He didn't like losing, no matter what it was. So those guys are professionals at the highest level. And to tell them they can't do something and they know they have the talent to do it, they're trying to prove people wrong. But you take a part of yourself that made you great and you take it away. You doing exactly what the other team wants you to do. Yeah, we can get them to stay in the pocket. We got a shot.
Into your hand, man.
It's like, yo, listen, I'm a Spurs fan. You know why Kawhi Leonard left the Spurs? Because Tony Parker said he was faking his injury. He took it personal. You know what I'm saying? Some players can take it and some players just can't. You know what I'm saying? It just depends on how you take it. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, whether he's faking it or not faking it, or he's really injured or not injured,
I
if
was
Tony
kind of foul.
Parker's
It
saying
was kind of
something,
foul for
at the end
Tony
of the day,
Parker to say that.
listen, you can't take it personal. You can't
No,
take it that
seriously, no,
personal.
nah, bro. This is
You know
you
what I'm
telling
saying?
me
Because
I'm your
guess what?
teammate.
Because guess what? Tony Parker said this a few years ago. What you do when you went to the Clippers? You sitting out games whenever you hurt.
But
Sitting out
for your
just
teammate,
sitting out
for your
random
team,
games, bro. Like at the end
For
of
your
the day,
team,
it make Tony Parker kind of look right. Do it not kind of make Tony Parker look right for what he did when he was with the Clippers?
yeah, but at the same time, like Tony Parker
Did
shouldn't
it
say that
not?
out
Come
loud.
on, man. We gonna keep a spade a spade. I could tell you right now, he set out some games he could have played, man. Kawhi Leonard is a guy who will tell the coach, listen, I'm not playing today, and that's just that.
Why? Because my
That's how
ankle
it
hurt.
go with him. He's one of them guys who take it too personal. He's a guy, I'm sorry, and I love Kawhi. He gave me a championship. Listen, I'm glad we had him. I wish he would have stayed with us to this day. I never take that away. But he's a guy, I'm just going off personal levels of showing you some people could take it and some people just can't. He's one of those guys who just can't take somebody telling him something. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's true or not true, he ain't had to take it that personal.
Yeah. I just want to see Jaylen. Let's move to the NBA. Jaylen Brown, Eastern Conference Finals against Boston, win it, make it to the finals. That would be some story, but it ain't gonna
I
happen
don't
because
expect
Boston ain't
Boston to
making it
get
that
there.
far.
I'm sorry.
Right, Boston ain't
I'm
getting that
sorry.
far.
Listen, we talking about taking it personal. Jaylen Brown is about to take this so personal. The only thing I'm hoping for that Jaylen Brown don't do when he go to Boston is get too emotional in the game and get the best of him at the time. And I'm not talking about emotional like he want to fight or nothing like that. Just emotional of
Yeah.
being there in the crowd, cheering him on and happy to see him again. I'm talking about that because sometimes that can mess you up in that game, you know what I'm saying, that mindset, because I know he has a lot of love for Boston. So I just pray that he get his stuff out, during pregame and come out there and kill because I know he gonna be ready. He gonna ready to go at Jason Tatum. I just can't wait to see the matchup, honestly. I really can't.
Any last word before we get out of here, man? Thank you guys for watching Bala Sport TV. Appreciate you guys, man. Eddie, talk to me, bro, man. What's your last word for this segment before we move on to another episode? I'm glad, man. This is a new beginning. The NFL guys and the NBA guys are here, man. If you want to hear the best content from NFL, period, you got the knowledge, both of these gentlemen. I'm still a student. I always will be a student to you guys, man. Eddie, give me your last take.
I just can't wait, man. I can't wait. I think the NFL season is going to have as much parity as it's ever had. There's no real dominant teams anymore. It's not like it was 20 years ago. I think this season is going to have anybody can win it. The kind of like that vibe that you had last year, where anybody can win it. Anybody that get hot can win it. So I'm looking forward to see what my Niners going to do with all their additions. Can they stay healthy? If they can stay healthy, a healthy Niners team doesn't go any less than NFC Championship game. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. But I'm excited. I'm a fan first, though. So
Yeah, I'll say this before we go out. Between both sports, I never seen so many big trades between, like football and all that. Like Seattle had their running back that was, I believe he was the MVP, get traded or left for the Kansas City Chiefs.
they didn't want to pay him.
This is crazy. There was so many trades in basketball. I can't wait to watch both sports, honestly, this year, because it's going to be a lot of different moves, a lot of different players on different teams because of the cap and all that. So it's two sports. We never seen this much movement, and it's going to be great to watch both of them. I can't wait.
Can't wait, man. A couple months from now, man, NFL start. Man, Buffalo Bills got a new stadium. Man, all Bill fans about to be
I'll be
crazy
watching
there,
from
man.
home. I won't be going to a game
I
for
was
a
about
couple
to say
years.
that.
I let those prices go down first. Forget that. Getting
Those
me to
tickets
go there
still
for
gotta
no
be sold
600
out,
to sit
man.
in the nosebleed.
Yo, they gotta be sold out. They gotta be sold out to folks that only watch football or follow football on
As
Sunday.
bad as I would love to be in that stadium for the first game, like if I had the money, I probably would go, but I ain't got that.
What you
I
said,
ain't
Jay?
going.
You got to sell your soul to go?
I got 2 kids, a wife. I can't go to that, man. It is too much. They tripping.
All right,
Especially to
fellas, man.
sit in the
Appreciate you.
nosebleeds. It would be one thing if I could pay 600 and be in the first row, but I'm in the nosebleed. Come on, man. You lost me.
That's like so they got some FIFA World Cup tickets going out there for NFL games these days. Them tickets for FIFA World Cup was crazy.
Yeah.
How much?
So I sit down on section 105, road 6 or some shit like that, paid with 1100.
Ooh. Well,
I mean,
they wasn't as bad as the New York Knicks finals games, bro.
Right.
They
yeah.
was
To sit in the
asking for less.
nosebleed, I think that was
They was,
4,000 was the cheapest ticket.
yeah. They
That
was
was the
asking for limbs
nosebleed.
out here.
Keep that noise. But all right, fellas, man, I appreciate you guys so much for being here, man. Thanks for watching Ballard Sport TV. Appreciate you, Eddie. Jermaine, you already know, man.
Anytime, brother.